Today I'm going to be showing you how to make fermented cabbage stew. And a little fun fact about fermented cabbage is that it, like any other fermented vegetables, it helps improve your digestion, boost your immune system, lose weight, reduce stress, and maintain brain health, and also reduce risk of certain cancers and promoting heart health. And so I started with stir frying like a couple tablespoons of that fermented cabbage and adding some pork broth and my own Napa cabbage, regular Napa cabbage, and you're just gonna chop a little bit into it. And then I added some shrimp and fish balls to it, and you're gonna stir that around. And once the shrimp has cooked thoroughly, you can just quickly take them out so they don't get overcooked. And so next we're gonna add our really thin pork belly. I would totally recommend buying the ones that are labeled Shabu Shabu because they're typically, used for hot pots, and they're mainly better used here because it's like a stew. It's in some kind of broth, so it's much softer and easier to chew, and definitely just sweeter in general to taste, rather than the ones that might have been labeled as sukiyaki, etc. Because those are mainly for being grilled instead of being used in a stew or a hot pot in general. So very much like the shrimp, you don't want to overcook your pork belly because then it'll definitely get hard and not easy to chew on. So you just, want to just let it, cook, for a couple seconds inside the stew and then take them out. Of course, compared to beef, pork does cook a bit longer. So probably a little longer than you might usually cook for beef. For flavoring, I'm just gonna add a bit of white pepper salt because the sourness of the cabbage is itself already pretty sour a little bit in its own flavor, like the fermentation taste to it. And it's not gonna be super sour, to be honest, because you're gonna be, stir frying it in the beginning with the other Napa cabbage, so it does take a little bit of that sourness down. Of course, you can add less than a tablespoon if you don't really like sourness. I know there are like some people that don't really like this dish, and in the beginning I didn't like it that much, but I think I've grown used to it, and so I started liking it now. So just saying that this recipe it's not definitely like everyone's favorite, but it's definitely like good for you, and so and it tastes good for others, so I mean you could try it out if you want to. And as you can see here, I've taken out the Napa cabbage, shrimp, pork belly, and everything that was in there because we're gonna add our vermicelli, which is made from beans. And this is kind of different from like Vietnamese vermicelli, and so we're gonna add that in. Of course, you're gonna soak the vermicelli before cooking this and warm to hot water, and just let them soak for not too long, for like 5 minutes I would say, and then take the water out, and then probably cut them into like bite-sized portions I would say. And then after that, you're gonna add your vermicelli in here and then let them simmer and cook for a while, and then gonna take them out because you don't want your vermicelli to be soggy. You want them to be as we call it, QQ, which is like this nice chewing texture to it. So you don't want to cook this for too long, and then you can obviously, try it out, taste test it, just to see if you're not sure by looking at it too. And I took the stuffing out because I thought that was easier to cook the vermicelli by itself and easier to take them out without getting, because I am splitting this among my family members, so around 5 people. So having the noodles separate from the vegetables and the meat assortments is all nice and easier to portion for everyone. And that is it for our sour cabbage stew, and I hope you guys try it and enjoy.